Yes, people, and welcome back to Punches and Pundits. Before we start, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube. And if you are listening to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure to download the episode. Now, we're going to preview UFC 309, of course, but yesterday we had an event. And if you've been tuned in to this podcast, you know there's a certain someone where the stocks, they've been high. And yesterday, he further confirmed that we got a real prospect.
Listen, PRATES is legit. And every time you mention him, at first I had my doubts. I said, is he really that guy? He's knocking everybody out, but he needs to step up in competition. I want to see him fight some better competition. We'll see how he does. Magny is that competition. Magny has always been the gatekeeper at welterweight, a solid top 15 fighter. He's been around the UFC since forever, and what a performance! And I've got to say, I've never seen Magny get finished like that. I mean, we've seen him lose, but for him to get knocked out, I don't think Magny landed a shot. He stalked him.
No, Magny was Magny was grappling. Magny was clinching, grappling.
was clinching for
even do you know what? Do you know what?
survival.
But Prates, good takedown defense. If anything, on the first takedown, the single leg for Magny, he ended up on top. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Obviously, Magny's game plan was clear. He didn't want to strike with Prates. And the moment Prates started stalking him, you knew that left hand was there. It was a piston, and he was just waiting, even to take a couple like jabs to the face, because he knew Magny ain't got power to hurt him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So he was just stalking him, and there was a bit like in the comments on Twitter and whatnot. They were like, "What did Magny take a dive?" I want you lots to understand.
It was a temple shot.
It was a temple
We've
shot,
seen that
exactly.
before.
And because the angle was a bit like you couldn't actually see it, you're like, "What happened?" Thing is, it reminded you. Do you remember when Jamal Hill knocked out
Walker?
Walker?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was
the
a
same,
temple shot, and it sent him flying.
Those temple shots are so weird, where your body
cuts
just
you
shuts
off.
down.
Yeah,
your
it
body
cuts
just
you
shuts
off.
down.
And
And yeah, we see all the time. So yeah, anyone who says that just doesn't watch the sport. They don't watch boxing as well, because it happens a lot of boxings. A lot of Lomachenko's knockouts are like that, where he just lands or clips you on the temple.
And
But listen, it was a legit finish, and I call him Baby Pereira. Brazilian
hands of stone.
hands of stone, same left hook. This guy's a problem. And listen, give him a top 10 now. I say
Jeff Neal
he called out Jeff Neal. He also
or
wants
Jack Della. The
the
thing
Madalena.
is 4 fights in the span of a year, 4 knockouts,
4 bonuses as well.
4 bonuses. Obviously, his contender series, and then 3 fights in the actual UFC. Decent enough opponents. Let's not lie. Trevin Giles, like, he's not great, but he's decent. Who else did he fight? He fought the guy that fought yesterday, and he blitzed Semmelsberger in like a minute. So, and he's not a bum. And then obviously he fought Li Jinliang, who's never been knocked out,
Never
put
been
him into
touched.
orbit.
Li Jinliang's a legit as well.
And then he just Magny doesn't get finished like that.
Nah.
Like Ian Gary was
exactly.
butchering his legs, but he didn't knock him out. Shavkat
This guy has a legit one punch, turn your lights off, knockout power. He's a scary guy, and he's a scary matchup for anybody in that division. One good fight that I think would be a good fight to make would be him versus MVP. I don't know if MVP's been matched up. MVP's coming off a loss. He needs a win. MVP's a good striker. Prates is a different kind of striker.
That would
more
be
knockout power, but that's a very good fight, and it's a
that
good
would
step up
be
in
a very
competition
good
for Prates
fight.
as well. We'll see. I mean, we already know what he's about.
The thing is,
But
yeah,
it's a good fight for him. MVP.
who
Prates.
after 3? There's not many people after 3 fights get a main event, even though it's in the Apex.
Yeah.
So the UFC's got stocks on him.
100%.
They
He's from
rate him
he's
highly.
From Brazil as well. UFC always love to have
Fighting
Brazilian
nerds.
fighters.
He's part of the fighting nerds.
No, he's legit.
Baralho, Jean Silva,
Yeah.
Duffy, real bad boy
Barlow was
fighters.
in his corner, weren't he, last night?
Yeah, and then they took pictures with John Jones.
Yeah,
with
John
all
Jones
the
was
glasses.
there. John Jones appreciated it.
But yeah, he called out Jack Della Maddalena.
Yeah.
But do you know what I liked as well? He's not, you know them fighters that are just dishing out some mad call outs, and you're like, whoa. He's gonna enter the top 15. Even he said, listen, the reason why I'm calling Jack Della Maddalena is I want to fight in Australia, because I didn't even know this. He has a daughter in Australia. He likes going to visit.
Okay.
So that's the reason he wants to fight on that card in Sydney, and it would make sense because there's an Australian fighter and whatnot. But if they can match him up with, like, for example, a Jeff Neal on that card, Jeff Neal just beat Dos Anjos. He's at 10 or 9. He would jump from 15 to top 10.
And that's an exciting fight as well. The way Jeff Neal fights, he doesn't take a back step.
Jeff Neal against Shavkat.
Jeff Neal's legit. People think he's a scrub. He's far from a scrub. The way he fights, he's in your face. He tries to knock you out, and he's very durable as well. He's tough to stop. Shafka had to kind of work to stop him. It wasn't an easy stoppage for Shafka. So Prates versus Jeff Neal, I'd say that's probably
That would be even more of a step. That would be a serious
I'd say
step
that's
up.
the move because it looks like Madalena and Colby will happen. Colby was calling him out on the interview
Which is
recently.
wild. And I haven't heard Colby call out.
And apparently
and upcoming.
And the way
he's doing that to get again.
No, but the way Colby was talking, it's like he's let go of the schmick as well.
No, the reason why he did that is to annoy Ian Gary.
Right.
He's like, yeah, Jack Della Madalena, this upcoming guy, he's really good, all of that. Yeah. And then Ian Gary, who's on a similar path to JDM, Ian cut Gary like
completely dismissing him.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
But Ian Gary has been matched up, hasn't he?
Yeah, against Buckley.
He's got a fight with Buckley. Let's talk on that. Ian Gary always talked about he doesn't want to fight down. There's that famous clip of him and Buckley in the PI. It was like, mate, I don't want to fight you. You're ranked beneath me. I'm trying to look up, which makes sense. But at the end of the day, and this is why I always say, you do as you're told in UFC.
But the thing is, Ian Gary does his told. Yeah, I hear that. But at the same time, headlining a fight night in an arena, at the stage he's at, he's about 7 in the welterweight rankings. He's not going to get a title fight. Take it. You beat Buckley, who's at number 9. You continue your streak. You're probably 1 or 2 max.
And you could argue, Buckley's win over Wonderboy is maybe better than any of Ian Gary's wins. Let's talk about Ian Gary's wins.
Or in terms of opposition.
In terms of opposition, I know Wonderboy isn't the same guy. But in terms of his name, in terms of what Wonderboy's done, he's fought for the belt a few times now.
But Ian
Gary's wins.
He didn't finish Neil Magny, even though he leg kicked him.
Are any of Ian Gary's wins better than Buckley's win over Wonderboy? And the way Buckley finished Wonderboy as well. You could argue Buckley is also that guy. And it's not an easy fight for Ian Gary. Buckley's in good form. Buckley's also fought at 185, so he's carried that power down to 170. He's a tough guy, can do it all, can grapple, can strike.
I think if it's just technical striking...
Technically, you've got to give Ian Gary the edge. But
so
power-wise...
Yeah.
I mean, you can give Wonderboy the edge in terms of technical ability as well. Wonderboy technically is a lot better than Buckley.
But Wonderboy is...
Yeah, he's past it a little bit, but still. That technical...
Imagine if Prates would have asked for Wonderboy. Wonderboy's still ranked 11.
Yeah,
so it could have made sense for him, but
fair play.
Calling out Jeff Neal, who's a much harder fight than Wonderboy right now, or JDM. Yeah. And do you know what? Do you know who's missed an opportunity as well? Prates was meant to fight Randy Brown. Yeah, Randy Brown said, "I need a bit more time. I want to fight in December." Now Prates has fought. He's in the top 15 now. He's gonna fight probably between 10 and 12. Randy Brown, the train's left. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Now Prates he's entered the rankings and he's probably, 1 win away from entering the top 10. And when you're in the top 10, by the way, the welterweight division, Shark Tank. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There's killers there.
Second best division in the UFC after bantamweight.
No.
No. You say it's the best?
Featherweight.
So is bantam? Can we agree bantamweight's the best? Or we have to agree to disagree?
Bantamweight took a little bit of a knock there with Sean O'Malley just getting...
Yeah, but that's Morale.
Because it wasn't competitive like that. But yeah, featherweight, Ilya Topuria, Diego Lopez,
okay, we can say featherweight, welterweight, and bantamweight top.
I mean, Max Holloway's not at 145 anymore. He's confirmed it. He's at 155. That we need to talk about.
For me, 155 is. I mean, let's talk about Holloway going to 155. I don't know why he even went to 145 after that Gaethje win. Sorry, I know you've got the belt, but still, it doesn't make any sense to me. I didn't agree with that fight. I always said I didn't agree with it. You've got an opportunity to win the belt back, but I just think he could have fought for the 155-pound belt by now if you just stayed at 155.
Do you think
that win over Gaethje was a serious win, and that was Gaethje coming off a knockout win against Poirier?
Yeah,
that was a Gaethje that was on form, a confident Gaethje. There's no excuses after that loss, no injuries. For him to finish Gaethje the way he finished him, it was an iconic knockout win in the last second of the fight. He could have fought Makhachev. I honestly think they would have given him the title shot ahead of Sarukian. Yeah. Sarukian as well had those issues with...
So what you're saying the BMF title doesn't hold as much weight now that he got finished?
For me, the BMF title never held any weight. I've never rated the BMF title anyway.
Yeah, but it produces good fights, though.
It produces good... It's fun fights, but it's a nonsense silver belt. Let's be honest. They made it... They initially made it for Masvidal and Diaz, 2 guys that could never become undisputed champion. But we need them to be the main event.
Then Dustin.
Who was meant to be the main event? It wasn't Kamaru Usman was meant to main event that card apparently, and Kamaru Usman pulled out with an injury or whatever. The fight never happened, so they were like, we need a main event. but we need them to fight for a belt. That's the only reason why the BMF belt was created. To me, I never really put any weight on it.
Yeah, but then you got it was Justin Gaethje against Dustin Poirier 2. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? That was I remember the lead up to that fight. I thought it was gonna be a war.
Yeah, but why I don't even rate it as well, yeah? Masvidal won the BMF belt. Did he defend it? They just made another fight for the BMF belt. You can't do that with a real belt. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's slightly changed though. Now you
Yeah.
have it, you have to go defend it.
And then if he defends it, does that count as a title defense?
The thing is, if Holloway would have won, then it's like then it would have thrown a spanner in the works. But yeah, but now that he lost, that's the only belt that he's got.
It's just confusion, and like even Topuria coming out to the press conferences, the post-fight interview with a BMF belt. I don't like that BMF. It's a nonsense belt.
Yeah,
it's not real.
And it's like, who do you pick? Like you have to be a Hall of Famer, or like on the verge. Yeah. You have to have street cred.
Yeah.
Not anyone can fight for the BMF. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There's very select few
it's like
people.
The UFC always talk about being the premier MMA organization, the best MMA organization. Yeah. These BMF belts for me, it just puts the UFC down a bit. The UFC are so much better than every other organization. For them to have this BMF stuff.
So what do you think Max Holloway could do at 155 now?
I think he's in a good position. Of course, he's coming off a knockout loss. He needs to first of all take some time out. I always think when a guy gets knocked out, take a few months out, relax. Spend some time with the family.
Especially for the first time.
Heal up as well, because that was a heavy knockout as well. Not heavy, but still, it was a tough knockout. Like, he was done, yeah. So I'd say spend some time, relax a bit. And a good fight for him, I mean...
Maybe like summer 2025.
Yeah, I mean, Poirier is talking about what he wants to do the trilogy. It's not really a trilogy. Poirier is 2-0. So is it really a trilogy? They're not 1-1. I'd say...
Chandler if he loses?
Chandler, yeah. I mean,
Charles?
I mean, even the winner of Chandler, if Chandler wins.
The thing is,
maybe McGregor might come back just for that Holloway fight.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what we were saying the last episode.
But don't put that BMF nonsense on the line.
McGregor will want that BMF belt.
But still, I'd just say fight. The winner fights for the belt. The undisputed belt, not the BMF belt.
I mean, we're going to dabble a little bit because it's got to do with 309. But if Charles gets a convincing win, I know it's Michael Chandler, but we're forgetting he was scheduled to fight Islam before he got the cut, and then Volkanovski stepped in, and the whole domino effect happened. If he gets a real convincing win, Charles Oliveira is still a star. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was annoying that he lost to Arman, but he lost the decision. He had moments in the fight. It's not like he got knocked out. Obviously Arman and Islam are gonna fight. The only thing is that Islam, if he beats Arman convincingly, I'm sure he's gonna go up to 170. But if Bilal's still the champion, he won't fight him. No. So obviously the thing is that because now that fight's moved, well, it's gonna be delayed since Bilal's dropped out. Then I think that puts a little bit of spanner in the works for Islam, because then if Shafkat would have won, I'm convinced the UFC would have made Islam Shafkat. So now that Bilal, but he said 6 weeks, so it's not going to be too long, considering I think Arman and Islam will be in January in LA apparently. I don't think there's ever been a card in Los Angeles.
No, I mean there's
in the new
not there.
Clippers.
But there's been cards in California.
Yeah, Sacramento, Anaheim.
Wasn't DC
Anaheim
Cormier too?
Yeah, DC Jones.
Sorry, why am I saying DC Cormier? DC Jones too.
Even Volkanovski Topuria was in Anaheim.
Even Bisping Rockhold rematch was in Anaheim.
Uriah Faber fought in Sacramento. Yeah. So
Cali's a good spot, but LA, you're right. I don't think it's.
Yeah, so that would be pretty big as well. So I don't know, man. What would you think? Let's talk about the Charles Oliveira Michael Chandler. Obviously, we've seen it once before. I think it was UFC 262, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Chandler's the same guy. I think he's the same guy.
He's saying he's not.
People see clips on Insta, innit? He's an athlete. He trains hard. He's doing all that S&T work, cardio work, lifting weights. People get excited, innit? They clip it up nice.
Charles is just in a dungeon, just sparring.
But he's the same guy. He's the same guy. He's gonna come out. He's gonna load up, 100% in every punch, and Charles is gonna clip him. If he goes to the mats, okay, he could hold him down. But Charles has been in there with Sarukian. I don't think he'll make the same mistakes again. Let a guy hold him down.
Sarukian,
he won't let a guy hold him down.
He nearly put Sarukian to bed.
I know, but that's always been Charles. You'd say his Achilles heel. He lets wrestlers hold him down a bit too long, because he's got very good submissions off his back, and he gets a bit too comfortable in it.
The fight's 5 rounds. Yeah. Surely it's not 3 rounds. There's no way it's 3 rounds. It'll be 5 rounds.
The UFC might do their nonsense.
But you can't have Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira a rematch of a title fight for 3 rounds. There's no way. Come on. So I don't know. I actually need to check this because if it's only 15 minutes,
Yeah, with the
that'll
UFC,
piss me off. I can't lie.
with the UFC, you never know what they're gonna do. But
Big fights, they'll
Yeah.
just co-main event of a pay-per-view with John Jones. Just you make it 25 minutes.
but if Chandler has good fight IQ, he's done his homework, he should take a wrestling approach. So Oliveira's losses, his recent losses are against wrestlers, right? They're holding him down. Islam submitted him, but Sarukian couldn't submit him. Sarukian just kind of stalled, nicked rounds. So if Chandler has that IQ, he'd do that. But we know he's not going to do that. He's going to try and wing, load up, knock everyone out. And he wants a knockout maybe to entice McGregor to fight him. He still wants that McGregor fight.
I think Charles wants that McGregor fight as well.
I think it's a good fight for both. But I think Charles, if he's given the option to fight for the belt or fight McGregor, he'd fight for the belt. Chandler, on the other hand, if he wins and he gets the option to fight Makhachev or fight McGregor, he's picking McGregor. I think that's the difference.
If he gets the Makhachev fight straight away, which I don't think he would.
He won't. Yeah, he won't get it straight away because he's got the Sarukian in it.
Yeah, so I don't. And then apparently he wants to because he missed so much time.
No, but then it's Ramadan in March, so Makhachev doesn't fight during Ramadan. So yeah, I mean Makhachev's next fight will probably be on the June card or fight. What is it?
Abu Dhabi.
Exactly. So
if he's gonna fight January, he might fight back end of the year.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean McGregor though we don't even know when he's coming. We say it every episode, McGregor. Bro, it's like we're repeating the same thing every week.
Because we don't know, like.
Yeah, I mean he's in court right now, so he has to deal with that.
But the thing is, it's because Chandler was his supposed opponent, and he's fighting.
No, but even with the injury as well with McGregor, let's just quickly speak on that. With Bilal, which is a similar injury, it's a foot toe injury. Bilal's given us a time where he's coming back. McGregor still, we don't know what. Did he have surgery? Is he going through rehab? What time frame are we talking? Do you know what I mean?
But he's like BKFC part owner. He's there at the fight.
He's living life in it. We shouldn't even be mentioning him in it. I'll be real. Let's just stop mentioning him.
But yeah, I mean, who would you favour in a matchup?
With what? Oliveira and
Chandler.
Oliveira and Chandler. Yeah, I've got to go with Charles. Even though Charles is coming off a loss, I mean, I've got to go with Charles. Charles is just a better fighter.
He didn't look finished against Sarukian.
Nah, he didn't. He just come up against a guy who had a good game plan. Who did his homework.
And like within the fight, he had he had 2 moments. He at the very end, remember he had the DAS and then Sarukian went down and I was like, wait, he's unconscious and he wasn't. Sarukian has got really good submission defense, I can't lie.
Nah, he can grapple. Sarukian can grapple.
I say 95% of the lightweights would have got submitted by that guillotine. I can't lie. So fair play to Sarukian, and then like you said, he banked rounds. Charles got a bit too comfortable, and that's the thing. He just
because he's so confident in his submissions, he knows like he's not in any danger because he's so good off his back.
But
he gets too comfortable
against Islam.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He got too comfortable. Like he let Islam get.
He had an off night. There he was just off. Yeah. But against Sarukian and Islam, for example, there's a level of comfortability that he has on the ground against these guys. And the Dagestanis and
the Caucasus guys,
those people from those areas,
Caucasus regions,
you just try to stay on your feet because you want to talk about I don't know what
use your submissions to get back up
in these Brazilians' hands.
He did against Kevin Lee. Remember the Kevin Lee fight?
Yeah,
he'd fake a submission to get a better position.
Yeah,
and he'd get him out.
But Kevin Lee, even though Kevin Lee was a great wrestler in his prime,
he's not on the level of these guys.
He's not on the level of an Islam or.
To be fair, he's fighting on the regional circuits right now. He's trying to work his way back up.
Yeah, I don't see.
We'll see, man, where he ends up.
Yeah, I mean, I really do hope Charles wins. I would love for him to just put a statement, not have the first round that he had in the first fight, please. Charles, don't do that to us. But it might just be a car crash. Like, it could be a car crash again. Charles fights at his best when it's a car crash. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
When it's a bit like.
Yeah, when it's a calculated guy with a game plan, strike, takedown, then it's a bit tougher. But it will be a car crash against Chandler. That's how he fights.
Car crash for car crash.
Yeah, he fights.
I would have Charles right there because when you look at his resume against other car crashers, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, what's happened to them? They've been finished. So if anything, based on a resume, Charles is the best car crasher in that division. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So if like you said, Michael Chandler wants to go all guns blazing, let's see who drops first. You know Charles is a zombie. He didn't take damage against Sarukian, really. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He didn't get knocked out or anything like that. He's just like, oh, all right, cool, back on the horse. Boom. Chandler might be in trouble, man. Because I think
Chandler's the same guy. He's the same guy, and yeah, that's it. He's the same guy. He's the same guy. I'd say the winner of this fight, obviously, if it's Oliveira, he wants the belt. But another fight, I'd say even Dan Hooker's looking good. Dan Hooker Oliveira's a decent fight,
no, that would be a
That's a
mad
good
zombie fight. But then again, if he
and that's a car crash as well.
that's
And-
ultimate.
and
You know what,
Hooker's-
actually,
and Hooker's
Dan
not gonna
Hooker's
shoot.
a car crasher.
Hooker
yeah.
will not shoot. Hooker's not going to shoot for a takedown. That is a classic striker matchup, and it favors Oliveira, but it also favors Hooker. Hooker loves a scrap. Hooker loves to get smacked. Very durable.
Very durable.
That's a
But
good
the,
fight.
but the thing is, if Charles beats Chandler convincingly,
He wants
why
the
would he
belt,
want
yeah.
another fight? Why would he not call out
But
Islam?
why I say that is Islam is fighting Saruki in January. That's the rumors, yeah. After that fight, he's not fighting again until mid
Yeah,
of the
Charles
year, towards the end of the year, because he's not going to fight during Ramadan.
Charles wants to. I'm sure he'll want to be active. He'll probably get one more. That's why maybe do a funner fight. Maybe do a Max Holloway for a BMF. Maybe
Oliveira,
maybe
yeah.
maybe entice McGregor that if he is actually coming back to be the one to fight him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Instead of just waiting out. But there is an argument because he was scheduled after the Benil Dariush knockout. They scheduled that fight. It was a week. Was it a week, 2 weeks
Yeah, yeah.
before he got that cut? So the UFC were like, yeah, we want to give Charles a second chance. Obviously, he fought Sarukian. He lost the decision. The UFC probably are like, it's a bit annoying. They're matching Chandler, who's about 6 in the rankings. He'll probably need one more. If it's Hooker for title eliminator,
Yeah.
so be it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't think Charles would be against going to Sydney.
Nah, Charles will fight anyway.
He'll
This guy,
fight
he's
anywhere. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
He's a scrapper.
He's a ultimate scrapper, and he's still got tread on the tires, man. He's what 33, 30, maybe
Yeah.
34.
Yeah, it's just he's young, but he's got so many fights in the bank. Like he's been around the UFC.
But
how long?
he's never been like
Yeah. No, I know, but it's like he's
lost.
lost, but it's like he's young, but he's not young in terms of number of fights. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
So-
what PRATES was talking about as well. He was like, I mean, you got to think 4 fights within the span of the year, and then he wants to fight in Feb, and then he's like, I want to take a little bit of a break.
He should. You don't wanna weigh yourself down.
And then once you're in the top 10, then you know you can't fight as regularly. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Unless you're Alex Pereira.
And you have to be smart and pick your fights because, it may sound a bit messed up, but you gotta go with the the low risk, high reward technique if you want to go for the belt. Because if Pratis is smart, I mean, are there any real wrestlers at 170? Even though he showed good takedown defense.
I
against
mean,
Magny.
Usman,
Kind of steer away from your Colbys, your Usmans.
Shafkat.
But Shafkat's just a wild guy. He'll do anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think against Prates, he'll probably try grapple him.
But I'd say he'll strike him as well.
Yeah, but
Shafkat
he'll
is
mix
really
it.
that
He
guy.
would mix it.
Yeah.
Oh, Bilal.
But he's like Bilal's the champion. But speaking on Bilal Shafkat, we've recently heard some news. Of course, Bilal's out with an injury,
Annoying.
and there's rumors that they're gonna do Shafkat Usman for the interim belt, which I think is a very very good fight. Madeleine will probably feel
But
a
you
bit
know
hard
what?
done by.
You've been the first to say, oh, why do an interim belt fight when like, I mean the timeline. He said 6 weeks. He didn't say 6 months.
I know, but still though, that's him saying it. We haven't heard a doctor come out and say it. It looked like a bad injury.
Yeah, his toe.
Looking
His
at the
toe was a
pictures-
balloon.
Yeah, it literally was a balloon, innit? So, looking at the pictures, I'd say he's just saying. And plus, listen, if it's 6 weeks, you don't know if he's gonna be. I think that's just a guess. Like it's just a.
But then again,
It's not. I don't think it will be 6 weeks. I think it'll be more than that, to be honest.
Shafkat going into a title fight with an interim belt on his shoulder would make the fight bigger. I've said this, just like when I said if Diego Lopez would go into if they were to do like a Volkanovski against Lopez for interim, and you went into the Topuria fight as an interim champ, yeah, it would make the fight bigger. I know it's like we know who the real champ is, but I'm trying to say it makes it a bit bigger, but. Shafkat, I bet Shafkat's probably annoyed. Usman was on the desk for the Prates fight yesterday, so he was. Prates eventually went on the desk and he was like, "Yeah, I'm hearing rumors you might be fighting Jack Della, or
Yeah.
if not, you might go into 310 and fight Shafkat, and then Usman was like, that's news to me, and just all smiling and
Yeah,
stuff.
he's just trolling.
But I can see if they pay Usman right, and Usman's said that he wants to remind the welterweight division like who he is. You know what I'm trying to say? Even though after those was he 3 losses in a row?
I think is it not 2? I was gonna say he's
No,
going
it's
from
3. He got knocked out by
yeah,
Edwards.
it's 3. Yeah, he lost Edwards decision. Edwards, Chimaev lost, and
Well, no, knockout Edwards.
knockout. Yeah,
Decision.
Chimaev. Yeah, 2 Edwards, 2 fights, and Chimaev.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He's gonna be going into the fight with Shafkat if it happens. Coming off a fight with Chimaev, straight into a fight with Shafkat. You know how mad that is?
Do you know what?
Usman's a stud, you know. Leon
Bro.
Edwards, Chimaev, and Shafkat. If the Shafkat
Do you know
fight
what?
happens.
While he was champion, Usman was getting majorly disrespected. The whole snoozman.
He's a
But
stud.
he's a Usman.
Will fight anyone.
But
Before that, he fought
I
Colby.
never got the disrespect because the 2 fights he had with Covington, and this was Covington when he was like
Prime.
cardio machine moving mad. The first fight with Covington, and then in the 5th round he broke Covington's jaw, and then knocking out Masvidal, who's never been knocked out, stopping Gilbert Burns. That run was crazy. There's a real argument. I know GSP is like revered and all of that, but like there's a real argument that Usman's right there in terms of the best welterweight.
He beat a
That's-
prime.
that's what Usman-
And who did he take the belt off? A prime Woodley.
Yeah.
That was Woodley in his prime. People try to say it wasn't Woodley. That was Woodley. That was Woodley. And he beat him.
So and Dana White said that Usman's the best welterweight of all time. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Just fair play to Usman because not a lot of people will take the Shafkat
His
fight.
resume of who he's fought
Yeah.
is mad.
He could easily just go for like a little easier fight at welterweight. But he wants to fight Shafkat. Fair play, man, because Shafkat's no joke.
On like
you could
on
argue-
short notice. What would that be?
He fought Chimaev on what? A week's notice?
No, it was a bit longer than that, I
A
think.
few weeks. It was a few weeks, 100%. Because Chimaev wasn't meant to fight.
But I mean, even Shafkat on what? So 3 9s next week, and then we got 3 10. It would be like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I know he's probably been training and whatnot, and he's hungry. And Shafkat, you know what? Even on Shafkat, like, I get Usman heavy wrestler, but he's got hands, a bit more hands than Bilal. So it's kind of like he's probably putting some serious wrestling work. But Bilal, Usman, if Bilal and Usman fought tomorrow, do you know what I'm trying to say? That would be a very, very close
You
fight.
could argue that's probably Bilal's toughest matchup because he can't just press and take Usman down. He has to think of other ways to beat him. Can he outstrike Usman? Maybe he's a better dirty boxer. I've always said Bilal has underrated boxing up close. He's got good pressure as well. He knows what shots to throw. He obviously did well against Edwards with doing that. But he can't just take Usman down. So it's interesting. And Usman can crack. We've seen Usman knock people out. But is Usman the same guy coming off the
that's true.
losses? Coming off those losses, is his confidence the same? Is he the same guy?
Whoa!
He was a confident.
In that fight, if that fight with Hamzat was a 5-round fight,
Yeah, you could
on
argue,
a weight above, he probably would have beat him.
Yeah.
So
I just want him to continue that, basically. Basically, do what he did against Hamzat, but obviously come into the fight better shape. Obviously, hopefully he has a longer camp this time. I know he keeps fighting guys short notice, but hopefully he has a decent amount of, training, camp, come in better
good
shape.
weight cut.
Good weight cut.
Because once you go 185, then it's like, damn.
Because you can say this is his final run. This is Usman's final run. He's pushing 40 now. He's not young. This is his final chance to get the gold back. And if he can regain that welterweight belt, you have to say he's the best welterweight of all time.
Yeah.
You have to say
100%.
If he can get the belt back, and this is a shark tank of a division, the welterweight.
Sure, I just thought about Sean Brady as well in terms of wrestler.
Sean Brady,
Right there.
Yeah, if PRATES is smart, I'm not saying he can't beat Sean Brady, but that's kind of
that's a matchup.
That's a tougher.
That's a matchup you want when you're in the top 5, and it's like
avoid
there's nowhere to go.
Call out MVP, you know what I mean? Call out Wonderboy. Call out
Jeff Neal, man.
Jeff
I love
Neal.
that. I told
These
you, I
are
love
good
that
matchups.
fight.
You're fighting strikers. Stay away from
That's
Sean Brady.
guaranteed fight of the night, I think.
Yeah.
And the cigarette break after, like the dude's just got swag.
Do you think he needs to abandon that though, going into top 5, top 10, top 5? Because
I hear that.
having a blem every post fight, and the thing is, we're just seeing the post fight one. He's probably blemming throughout camp as well. So
I think he probably cuts down, but the thing is, a happy fighter is probably a dangerous fighter. What makes him happy? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
yeah, but listen,
The thing is, we haven't seen him.
we're just seeing the first round knockouts, isn't it? It's the same thing I say with Aspinall as well. We'll speak on Aspinall. All of his fights are first round, second round
But
knockout.
you can only beat what's in front of you.
And everyone's saying Jones in trouble. We've never seen Aspinall in a tough fight going into the fourth round.
Same with Hamza.
Hamza as well, yeah, but we need to see these. We need to see these things because you can't say he's going to beat John Jones. I'm talking about Aspinall. If you've never seen him in a championship round, in a tough fight. Come on, man. Jones loves that, bro. That is Jones in a nutshell. How many times have we seen Jones fourth round, fifth round, still pushing the pace?
Yeah,
But
but
this is why I say
Jones is coming off a pectoral injury. He was out for the best part of
but
like
he
10
looks
months.
different now. I
He's
saw him on
lost weight,
pads.
yeah.
He said he weighs around 235 pounds.
Yeah, he
He's
wears lighter
He's
than
a
he
light, yeah. He's like a heavyweight, but not a big
Miocic
heavyweight.
looks sloppy, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's not looking good for Stipe. That's
I
not
can't
looking
lie,
good.
like we obviously let's get into it, but
Yeah.
because it's happening next week. But man, like, I just think I would be shocked, and Stipe in his prime was, bro, he was active.
Was it 4 years out since the Ngannou loss?
Like, no, but what he did to DC, that trilogy with DC, I just remember when, like,
The body
obviously he
shots, innit?
lost the belt to DC and the fight on his comeback. And he saw that DC was vulnerable to the body, do you remember? And then he spammed like 8 body
liver
hooks.
shots, yeah, probably liver hooks,
Ju-
liver shots as well.
And then he just knocked him out, yeah. And I was like, wow, Stipe is the man. And just like, in general, like, beat Ngannou, but yeah, Ngannou sent him to orbit. And he hasn't fought since. I remember, bro, it was in the Apex prime COVID. What was it, 2020? And like he hasn't fought since. And I think I gotta be honest, yeah. As much as these lot in their prime were high level, maybe I'm being a bit disrespectful to John Jones because that's still the goal and it's still my goal. But I'd be shocked, yeah, if John Jones has fought more recently, but I'd be shocked if Stipe is looking crisp and he's looking sharp and he's looking. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He's looking like the part because you can't.
4 years out is madness.
It's madness.
It's crazy.
Who's done 4 years out and come back and
Probably
GSP
GSP.
against Bisping.
Yeah,
But other than that,
we rarely see it.
4 years. Nah, mate. Nah. I think, but do you know what it is? I don't even think this is gonna be a finish. I think genuinely it'll be a John Jones unanimous decision and he wins most of the rounds. And if that's the case,
Have we seen Stipe get submitted? I don't think I've seen Stipe get submitted. I mean, he fought Doom, the greatest submission guy in heavyweight history, and knocked him out. But I've never seen him on the mat.
you think John Jones could finish Miocic?
Yeah, I mean the way John Jones, I reckon.
If this fight goes longer than, if this fight
Maybe
ends
takes
in the
his back.
first 10 minutes, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, Jones is usually a guy that wears on you and finishes you later on in the fight. That's why I favor Jones in an Aspinall fight, because if you go toe to toe with Aspinall,
You really do favor at this stage.
honestly,
At this stage, you
I'll
still
tell you why. I'll tell you why. Yeah. If you go toe to toe with Tom Aspinall in the first round, second round, you're in trouble. He's quicker than you. He probably has more power than you. He's a dangerous guy. Jones, that's not Jones' style. Jones will take his time. Take his time. We've seen Aspinall get taken down. We've seen him get taken down. Jones is the better
By
wrestler.
who?
No, as in, we've seen he kind of get taken down. And
Yeah,
that-
but we've seen
but that
Aspinall submit Volkov. We've
No,
seen
no, he
we've
can
seen
submit-
Aspinall submit Hellerman.
Yeah, but none of these guys are Jones. He's not submitting Jones. He can grapple, but Jones is the better wrestler, and we see it all the
You
time.
don't think he could grapple to just keep it on his feet?
No, he probably could early on, but what I'm saying is Jones is a different level. Jones took down DC, bro. Jones is a different level, like, of wrestler.
What year was that? 2017.
It was that lightweight, but still, to take DC down with DC's credentials, DC was part of the Olympic team at one point.
I know, but what, like, bro, you can't tell me.
I just think people are overlooking Jones.
I'm
in
not
this
overlooking him,
Tom
but
Aspinall fight.
like genuinely,
Because I
do you
think-
know what? I'm not even gonna talk anymore about this until I see
Until
how
it
John
happens, yeah.
Jones looks next week.
I
Because
feel-
it's
a
so
lot of it,
hard.
yeah.
It's so hard to like make predictions, just like we would make predictions as to what Conor would look like.
No, it
If
has
he
to
went-
happen, though. It has to happen. That fight has to happen. Jones is coming out dismissing it.
Yeah,
Aspinall
he's
hasn't
just
done-
he's
Aspinall-
moving.
Aspinall hasn't done anything. Catterall came out and said Jones is using it as a way to get the UFC to offer him more money, because that fight has to happen. Imagine Jones beats Aspinall, retires on that. He'd be the GOAT. He already is the GOAT, but there'll be no question marks.
What if he beat? But he just
If he beats
doesn't-
Miocic and
he
then goes
doesn't.
and
He
beats
does.
Aspinall.
He just doesn't see the hype with
No, but he's
Aspinall.
saying he'd rather fight Pereira, which is nonsense.
he would rather fight Pereira because he could just.
He's gonna double leg him and submit him in the first. It'll be a Gon mimic, same thing as Cyril Gon.
And some people said that Pereira.
Gon's a good striker.
I know, and some people said Pereira would give John Jones a harder fight than Aspinall.
Gon is a tougher fight for Aspinall than Pereira. Pereira can crack, but Gon is a. People forget how good Gon is on the feet. And Ngannou didn't want to strike with him. If you remember that fight, Ngannou turned into a wrestler that fight. I know his knee was dodgy.
Against you? Oh,
against Gon. Ngannou, when he fought Cyril Gon, turned into a wrestler, bro.
Yeah, I know.
He turned into a D1 wrestler.
with the knee brace.
Gon is a serious operator.
That fight pissed me off because it was a snooze fest. And I was expecting someone to get sent to orbit. Pissed me off, I can't lie. And then what? Gon and Volkov. It'll probably be... John Jones, man, he's chatting crazy. Do you know what?
To be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing the winner. I mean, hopefully Gon wins because I don't want to see Volkov, Aspinall again. But let's say Jones and Stipe retire, which I doubt. I hope Jones...
Oh, Stipe is gone.
Yeah.
Stipe is gone. Unless
Stipe wins,
Stipe wins,
and he hangs around.
No, if Stipe wins, they'll do the John Jones rematch.
Of course,
and then Aspinall is fit. Bro, Aspinall must be praying every night that Stipe doesn't win because obviously John Jones would have lost for the first time, like legitimately. You're obviously gonna give him.
No, but they got rid of the 12-6 rule, so apparently that loss is gonna go. That disqualification apparently be wiped off because it's legal now.
Yeah, no, I know. Like, do you see someone like I can't remember who it was, but one of the girls, like her corner was saying, "Land of John Jones."
Yeah,
and then she's just there. I don't know why that rule wasn't applicable a long time ago. It'd be interesting to see who gets the first finish by 12-6.
What if Jones? Mount? You were talking about Jones. I say Jones takes Stipe down and starts 12-6 in him. Opens him up.
But do you agree with me that it's hard to judge since we ain't seen Stipe in 4 years? And as much as it's wild because as much as John Jones beating Cyril Gon in a manner that he did, it still leaves so many question marks because it's like we didn't really see what Jones is like past 5 minutes in his heavyweight frame. Do you know what I'm trying to say? That's why it was so disappointing that what Cyril Gon did. Do you know what I'm trying to say? We don't know. Realistically, we don't know what Jones is like at heavyweight. We still don't know. I know he beat Cyril Gon, submitted him.
But that was a quick finish. We don't know what he's like in the later rounds. We don't know if his cardio and conditioning is the same.
His power.
We don't know if
has he got heavyweight power?
Probably doesn't, but he never really was a power puncher at light heavyweight as well. He's just a guy that can do it all.
Yeah, but could he land?
And what Jones has as well that people don't speak on is his defense. I watch his fights sometimes or highlights. Yeah, he's got very good defense. Very good defense. We rarely see him get hit clean. And if he does get hit, he's riding with the shot. So people sleep on Jones's boxing defense. He may not have the best hands in terms of counter punching and slick striking. Aspinall obviously is the slicker striker, the quicker striker, the power puncher. But this is an MMA fight. And already we've got to say Aspinall, and I know I keep talking about Aspinall, we're overlooking Stipe, but still we have to overlook Stipe because I don't think Stipe will win. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think that this fight's going to be competitive. I mean, isn't Jones like a crazy favourite? Apparently the odds are mad. Did you see the odds for Carlos Prates yesterday? Minus 800 against Magny. Wow. As a striker. To be fair, I thought Magny would put up a better fight. No, I thought it'd be a tougher fight. Do you remember I think I said it against Mike Malott? And they gave Mike Malott Neil Magny, and then Magny managed to finish him in the last round, and it was like fraud check. Like, bro, Prates, I know we're going back to it, but hands of stone. These Brazilians, bro, they're from the favelas, isn't it? You like your Brazilians, man. Bro, I can't lie. Brazilian fighters, don't get it twisted. I respect the Dagestanis. Brazil's like the heritage of MMA, innit? That's what, I mean, look at the UFC. Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu is obviously from Brazil. But MMA-wise, the UFC, they've always had Brazilian champions. Yeah, but don't get it twisted. I respect, it took me a while to respect Islam because obviously there was trials going on and stuff like that. But now, I mean, Islam is a madness. Islam's the guy, man. But Khabib, even though McGregor, especially I started watching UFC and MMA properly because of Conor, and on his rise, you know, from his first main event in Dublin and whatnot, Chad Mendes fights and you know what's crazy? Habib was around back then. They were just injured. That's the only thing. Back then, though, Habib was around, but he was just always injured. I started tapping into
into Khabib Michael Johnson fight. I'd say
Yeah.
when he told him to
That
give
same
up.
card, yeah.
When he told
It
him
was
to
only
give
on the
up.
card, innit? And leading up to
Yeah,
the fight,
yeah,
him
and then he
McGregor
said, "I
were
want
going
to
back and
fight
forth.
your chicken and
Yeah.
whatnot." But that, do you know what I'm trying to say? But when it comes down to the Brazilian fight, I don't know what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you look at them, they just, especially the strikers or the ones that mix it,
Yeah.
they're super strong on the ground,
They all have decent.
but
solid-
they hit like trucks.
Yeah. Remember Henan Barrow in his prime? He's probably on the juice. But do you
Yeah,
remember
he
him
was
in his prime? One
moving
bantamweight.
mad.
He had
Yeah,
that,
nah,
he had
he
that
was-
run.
But
Dillashaw probably the juice as well.
oh,
stopped
do you
him.
see Dillashaw? You can't even lift his shoulder.
Yeah, he's got a damaged shoulder now. Yeah, no, it's sad,
Yeah.
man.
But and
It's
then
sad.
again, he's had a stellar career. Like
No,
when it's all said and done, you just look at his career. You're like, do you know what?
it's just when you pop for whatever he popped for, I don't know
Yeah.
the exact name. You've got to kind of question his. You've just got to question it, innit?
Yeah.
Everything he done, was it legit? Was he on the juice when he beat Henan Barrow? Was he on the juice when he beat Cody? He's beaten so many guys. Do you know what I mean, he went to hell with Dominic Cruz. Cruz
Yeah.
got the nod, but many people say he beat Cruz. He's beat so many people, but it's like you've got to put a question mark now because he popped for steroids, innit? That's why it's not good. It's not good for a fighter to even dabble in that because you always have a question mark.
But look
at
at
the end.
Jones.
Yeah,
Jones
will always have that as
Do you
well.
know what? They're gonna make. I'd say my prediction in 5-10 years, yeah, they'll make an actual movie about John Jones' life.
And he's got Netflix coming out. Apparently it's
No,
not,
he's acting
an
in
actor, yeah, he's
actually
it's not about his
talking
life,
about.
innit?
I think it's out.
He's out.
It's out now. In a TV series based on
Yeah.
on this guy that's on the come up.
Yeah.
I think it's
in-
French.
It's in French, yeah. I was
Yeah,
about to say,
but
it's-
I'm gonna be tapped in for that
yeah.
because it's good
I
that
need-
we
I need
get. I mean,
subtitles
we
for that.
got. It's not the same, but we had Roadhouse where McGregor and like,
I still didn't watch that, you know.
is it?
No, I don't know
The
why.
fight scenes are decent. I can't like.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
still watched
the
it.
rest of the plot.
'Cause I thought McGregor would be a fighter. in the
No, he
thing.
was like an enforcer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's acted bits of,
Yeah.
but like the fighting scenes, can't lie, solid. And
Yeah,
and
no, yeah.
but this one's like proper on like this fight on the come. There's hella fighters in there. I think Cyril Gane's in there, obviously.
But the Jones one, the one that
Yeah.
just come out now.
I think it's called like The Cage.
Yeah.
So
I saw
we'll
a
be-
preview and I saw it.
I sent it to you.
Yeah,
I sent it to you. So I'll probably be tapped into that. But what else? What else be going on? So
I mean, you look at the card as well. There's another fight on
Yeah,
that
what-
card. Bo Nickel, Paul Craig.
what
We
did I
spoke
say?
about that.
I say bet your life savings on
Yeah,
on.
Bo Nickel. Paul Craig obviously always has
What
that
do you
chance
think
off
the
his back.
odds are for Bo Nickel to beat Paul Craig? If Prates was minus 800,
But to be fair, I don't know how the odds work in it. But I know he'd be a heavy favorite.
like
But yeah, but if Bo beats Paul Craig, yeah, he has to now have a step up. He needs to.
top
Yeah, he needs to now
top
fight.
15.
He needs to get in there with a legit guy now. Do you know what I mean?
Who would you?
Paul Craig is legit, but it's not. Come on.
Nah, but
we need to see.
I
him.
think I don't.
Paul Craig has
genuinely don't be surprised if Bo Nickel knocked him out.
Yeah, but Paul Craig has some good wins on his resume, you know.
And Kalaev.
And Kalaev and
Jamal
Jamal
Hill.
Hill. He broke Jamal Hill's arm.
Yeah,
And
he won
Jamal
on a
Hill,
little
former
run.
champion.
But look at his last.
And
Look
Kalaev is
at,
gonna fight for the belt.
look
next.
at his last couple losses though.
Mm.
Borralio, didn't Johnny Walker knock him out with a like a like just on a madness?
I mean, they forced him to go down in weight.
Do you know you're talking about MVP? Yeah, why make MVP shower a bullet, man? I know MVP called out.
Yeah, but isn't Shara at middleweight?
He said I wanna. MVP said he wants to fun fight. Give him shower a bullet.
But I know it is a fun fight. But what does that do for Shara's title contention hopes? It doesn't do anything for it. If he beats MVP, he's not gonna then call out. Well, he won't be able to call out anybody else that's ranked higher at middleweight. I think it's good for him to just continue to fight guys at middleweight who are ranked a bit higher instead of fighting a welterweight coming up. That doesn't. I think that's just gonna stall him a little bit. Even though MVP is a name,
Okay, I've got the odds right now.
he's not ranked at middleweight, is he? MVP?
Paul Craig is 6-1 to win. That's like, I mean, it's you'd make money if you'd make money if Paul Craig won. And then Charles Oliveira is obviously the favorite against Chandler. John Jones is heavy favorite as well. So, yeah, man, I can't lie. But on 310 is Pantoja Asakura as well. So I'm intrigued to see what that's going to be about.
In the UFC.
Yeah, man. He could come out of nowhere and just do the madness. Imagine if he tucked in Pantoja.
That just shows how the flyweight division is. That you've got a guy making his debut fighting for the belt straight away.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
talking
not a
about
good look for
people
the weight
moving
class.
divisions, moving promotions. What's the name of the guy who used to be the one champion? Two weight ONE FC champion, the Ridder.
Yeah, making his.
He
Yeah.
fought Mershaw. He finished him, but
Yeah.
it was like it was a war. I can't lie
Yeah.
for
It
for
just
nearly
shows though the level of the UFC. You got a
Yeah.
guy in Derrida with so much hype. I mean, he's done a lot outside of the UFC. He comes to the UFC
Mm.
and he looks a bit ordinary. That's just the UFC.
But then again,
Mershaw's a tough guy, but
most submissions in middleweight history.
yeah, but I
Mershaw.
just think about what Chimaev done to him,
Mm.
and I know it's just Chimaev's a freak in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it just shows the level of the UFC. And listen, it's good to have a Dutch fighter as well.
Mm.
The Dutch are known for their kickboxing.
So what do you think?
Another Dutch fighter that retired recently, the Randamie retired. Did you see it?
Mm.
I've always said the Randamie, we just got her a bit late. But
Mm.
you watch her fight
She
with
fought
Nunes.
Nunes, yeah.
Bro, she was piecing her up on the feet. Nunes just became a wrestler again and just smoked on the ground.
Yeah, I hear that.
But she was dominating her on the feet.
How do you? I got a question for you. Paddy Pimblett doubles down after saying he'd beat Ilia Topuria. He's good, but I'd still beat him. Style
You know-
makes fights.
You know, as a fighter, I would never knock a fighter for saying I will beat this guy. Paddy's a confident guy. Listen, he's a UFC fighter. I think he's underrated. I think a lot of people sleep on Paddy. Very good fighter. But like I said, just because he's saying it doesn't mean it'll happen in it. I think Topuria deals with him.
Mm.
Even though Topuria's a smaller man. The only way I'd give Paddy an edge, or there's a question mark, is size. Paddy's a big guy. We even see him at 155
He looks
on
huge.
fight night. He's a big lightweight.
Who do you think he actually fights? Do you think he fights Moicano then?
Well, Paddy.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's a lot of hype
fight.
behind him.
Moicano's a fight. That's a fight. to
Bro,
win.
I can't lie.
But Moicano,
No,
had to put
no, I
respect
can't
on his
lie,
name,
you-
innit? I've been shitting on him. a
Yeah,
little
I
bit too
can't
much.
lie. You've been disrespecting him.
I
a
thought
little bit.
Benoit would handle him, but Benoit clearly ain't who I
Exact-
think he is, isn't it?
You that's another discussion. Who have been the biggest hype jobs to come into the UFC and you're like, this is Gara champion material.
And it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. Benoit still got time because he's
Yeah.
young, but I mean, I had him favorite against Dustin, and
Yeah.
now he got knocked out against Dustin, and then he got absolutely.
You know how mad it is he went into the fight as a favourite against Dustin? Looking back, that's crazy.
wild,
you know?
isn't it? Off a win against Ferrolo.
I mean, you could even say Paddy beats Benoit.
That would be. Do you know what?
They could do
That
Paddy
would
Benoit.
be. That would be a cracker. I
mean,
think that's a very evenly match, because I'm not gonna lie, yeah. What Moicano did to Benoit, taking him to the ground and holding him down, you'd think physically, strength. We gave the staph infection excuse to him against Dustin because he held Dustin down for the majority of the first round.
Yeah.
But like Moicano just took him down and just.
You know why? You know what it is with
Smoked him.
Benoit?
Mm.
People look at his military background, the fact that he's killed people, and they use that to judge him as a fighter. They're like, yeah, this guy's seen some wild things.
Yeah.
He must be a demon in the cage, but that's not always going to translate. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between shooting guns and using your fists.
Hey, Michael Chandler reveals his plan for 2025. Beat Charles at UFC 309. Fight Conor in March. Fight Islam in
I told
June.
you he wants that McGregor fight before.
I know, but look,
Makachev.
in a year, yeah, he said fight Conor in March, fight Islam in June, and fight Max Holloway for the BMF at the end of the year. Bro,
You have to
wait till Charles just stops that
Yeah,
immediately,
no,
bro.
to be fair though, you have to respect Mike for wanting to fight anyone. Though.
Yeah.
He's a proper company guy. He will fight anyone, and he's been like that since he's joined the UFC. So you have to respect it.
Max Holloway is taking inspiration from Alex Pereira bouncing back after his loss to Adesanya. Do you know what?
Fair play.
Do you know what?
Fair play.
That's
and
not
what,
talk-
and
no,
what- and
but
what
that's
did,
not
what did
talked
Pereira
about.
do? He went up in weight. He didn't stay
Aye,
out. He didn't stay
that
at
is true.
middleweight after
That's
that
exactly
loss.
why
Go
he's
up to
saying.
155.
But genuinely, Pereira, like his career could have went two ways there. Yeah. After the loss to Adesanya, and like it's probably one of the best like comeback runs after getting absolutely like sent to orbit that we've ever seen. Genuinely, who's come off being knocked out cold, beddies? Maybe Islam Makachev. When he got knocked out early in his career.
Yeah, no, it was a lot.
But
younger,
like,
wasn't it?
obviously Pereira was already champion, so it's like the stakes were bigger. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So, but that run there was, I mean, he's still on the run.
Yeah.
What's happening with Ankalaev? What's happening? Apparently, he's not going to step into 310 because there was rumors, or maybe, you know what I'm trying to say, he could
that's
step
too
in.
Much, that's too much.
Let him chill, man. Let him
Relax,
bake off.
enjoy your Christmas. You know what I mean? If he celebrates that.
Dricus Duplessis against Hamzat. or Strickland? I know we spoke about it last week, but Dricus is coming out and he's like, he said a couple things about Hamzat, yeah, where he's like, I'm not anticipating the takedown. I'm gonna be the one going forward. We're gonna talk about car crashing. Duplessis, do you know what? Because Strickland does, and this is, I've got a bone to pick, and I think I've mentioned it before. Like when you see Strickland's like press conferences and whatnot, and it's like it's gonna be a war. I'm gonna give a war to you guys. Yeah, you hear that every time against Costa. It's a snooze fest. I've seen a few. Obviously, Duplessis, like it was a competitive fight and it was violent.
It's
But
just his style was so hard to read. It's difficult for fighters to time the way he fights. Strickland has a very, very unique style. That's very unorthodox, and he fights with his hands. So he's just an odd fighter, and people just can't break him down. That's why there's snooze fest. But he's winning the rounds. Do you know what I mean? So it can be a snooze fest all he wants. If he's winning the rounds, he doesn't care.
If Shara Bullet and Bo Nickel fought tomorrow, who would win?
That is a tough one.
Really?
That is a tough one because
you don't think Bo Nickel
you could say Bo could just double leg him and just destroy him, which he probably would. But Shara's special, and it's MMA, and we've seen.
Bo Nickel said he would finish him in 90 seconds.
Yeah, he needs to chill out, bro. He couldn't even finish. There's guys that are worse than Shara that he couldn't finish in 90 seconds, bro. He needs to chill out. You know, with Bo, yeah, I respect him, but he talks a bit too much. Like
he's not even a top 15.
Just chill out because there's guys that have stuffed his takedowns that are not even all that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that hit a nerve, bro.
No, because he's talking about Chimaev. He would handle Chimaev. Bro, he might get knocked out, bro. Chimaev is gonna stuff a few of those takedowns. He's the better wrestler going into any fight at middleweight. But there's guys who are lesser fighters who have stopped his takedowns. I can't remember the guy's name, but he stopped a few takedowns before Bo ended up getting him down.
Yeah, I remember who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So
all Shara
maybe not 90 seconds, but I think he would beat Shara Bullet.
He'd get him down. He'd get him down. But Shara, I think.
But they're saying Bo Nickel, like the only test for him wrestling wise is Hamzat.
How long's Bo been in the UFC? 2 years now?
2 years, probably 2022, I think.
Come on, man. The way he's talking, you'd expect him to be top 10 already. Come on.
Considering when you look at our PRATES, he's going to be top 15 within.
Come on, bro.
12 months. I hear it. He needs Paul Craig doesn't do it like it doesn't excite me like that. If he dusts Paul Craig, I know he's gonna dust Paul Craig. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't think that's competitive. I'll be honest. I said that last time, but I genuinely don't think that's competitive. Colby Covington said the UFC has offered him Dustin Poirier to fight him for many pay-per-views.
Dustin's always rejected that, apparently. Yeah, but Dustin doesn't want to. Dustin hates Colby so much. He doesn't want Colby to make money off his name, which I don't understand.
Colby said he offered to step in and fight Shafkat on short notice at 310, but they're gonna go with Usman, which I can't lie. Colby's last performance against Edwards, man, his stock went down, man. I can't lie, genuinely.
He didn't even look like a good wrestler, but and what makes it worse is Bilal was taking Edwards down with ease. So the fact that Colby struggled is it's not a good look.
All right, for the last couple minutes, let's do matchmaking. So welterweight, a lot's moved. So Prate is going to be at 15. So we've got Luque 14, MVP 13, Michael Morales. No one's talking about Michael Morales. Yeah, do you see who he is though?
Yeah. You know, he's proper.
He's 13.
Yeah, but I just
12.
But I just think Jeff Neal, that's a good call out.
It's a good call out.
That's a good call out. And where Jeff Neal is
10. So then he would enter the top 10.
And who Jeff Neal's been in there with, he's been in there with some good fighters. That is a good fight.
Do you know what they should make? They should make Michael Morales against Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns coming off a loss.
What's MVP gonna do? It's weird. MVP's calling out Shara, but does he not want to go on a run at welterweight? I don't understand.
I think he probably. I think he.
Or does he just want to have some exciting fights before he leaves the UFC? Has he accepted that he won't become a champion? Is that what it is?
I think it might.
Well, he just wants to have an exciting career.
I think
he's getting, how old is he now? 37?
I think to get held down by Ian Gary is probably hurt his ego. I can't lie.
Yeah, because
genuinely
Ian Gary's not even a wrestler, is he?
Yeah, and that was a snooze fest, bro. Damn, there was so much hype.
It shows Ian Gary can switch up his style depending on the opponent.
But if you look at the top, obviously Bilal champion, Leon Edwards 1, Kamaru Usman. So 2 and 3 are probably gonna fight. Usman and Shafkat. Edwards is there. Brady is the second. Make Edwards Jack Della, no? Why not?
Yeah, but Edwards as well. He's gone missing since the fight. Like, I haven't heard anything from
He's
him.
another one that took his ego. His ego took a big hit. You see
Yeah.
how he's talking about Bilal, bro? He's
Yeah.
acting like they got him off the corner of the road, bro. Like,
They try to use the excuse about the time zone, but bro, you're from here. Do you know what I mean? You can't use that. I know it's weird fighting 6 in the morning, but it's easier for you to get
Yeah.
used to it than Bilal, who has to fly over here.
nah, man,
He's
it's
jet
wild,
lagged.
I can't lie. And quickly, we're just looking at lightweight. Obviously, Sarukian 2. Charles is 2. Charles is second in the rankings, you know. So I know that Chandler's 7 actually. 2 against 7. But I get it though. Charles wants to fight at MSG. This thing, like I hear it.
Yeah.
But Justin Gaethje 3, Dustin Poirier 4. Max Holloway's gone at 5. I feel like they've bumped him up since he's probably said that he's
Gone up to
officially a
lightweight.
lightweight. So they probably Fazeev.
Yeah.
Been a while since we've seen Fazeev.
Mm.
Moicano's at 10. Gamrot at 9. Man, the lightweight division's still solid. Obviously, you got Paddy at 14. Jalen Turner at 13. Benoit. Yeah, man, I can't lie. Even Paddy against Fazeev, imagine that. He would have to, bro. Paddy would have to, yeah. You'd have to try grapple him for dear life straight away. I can't lie, because Fazeev, yeah. I know he ruptured his ACL. What was it against Gamrot? But his kicks and like his fight was with Gaethje. Do you remember at the O2 it was 286. Violent guy, violent. But yeah, last couple predictions. Yeah, what we saying? John Jones, Stipe.
Jones, submission win.
What?
Submission win.
You got a round?
TKO actually.
What are you saying?
Jones third round TKO. 12 to 6.
Nah, bro. If there's no way that's happening.
12 to 6.
12 to 6.
Yeah.
I'm going way more conservative. John Jones, unanimous decision. Little bit of a snooze fest, unfortunately. I can't lie. It's one of them where I'm not that hyped.
No.
Charles against Michael Chandler.
Charles submission win third round.
Ooh.
Knocks him down, takes his back, choke.
Rinse and repeat from when Charles won the belt.
Yeah.
Knockout, second round. Left hook again. Yeah. Bo Nickel, Paul Craig. Bo Nickel, knockout.
Yeah. Just
Second round.
Just ground and pound, innit?
TKO.
Yeah.
What was the rest of the card?
No, that's the main card. The main card's alright, but
It's not great though, innit?
yeah.
But I think they put it on pay-per-view for here as well, you know.
Yeah.
Wild.
Probably will be, yeah. But to be fair, there's Weidman's fighting Eric Anders, but Weidman's
Oh, Mauricio Rufy from the Fighting Nerds is fighting there. That's another Fighting Nerd you're gonna have to be tapped in. He's solid. Jonathan Martinez, yeah, Jim Miller. Yeah, the rest of the card is a bit stinky, but
Yeah.
I hear it. You got John Jones on his comeback, and you got Charles Oliveira. You're gonna stack it a certain way. But anyways, thank you for tuning in to Punches and Pundits. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube. Make sure to watch out for all the clips that will be on the TikTok and Instagram. And if you're listening to the podcast on the audio platform, Spotify, Apple Podcast, make sure to download the episode and follow us, Punches and Pundits, both on Instagram and TikTok. Peace out.